Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. There is so much news out there right now that it's just ridiculous. I couldn't cover even a pinch of it during the Crypto Minute, right? Everybody's thinking, oh yeah, we already know about the Ethereum spot ETFs. Yeah, you know half of it. You know half of it. The 19B4s were approved, meaning they can be listed. But the actual products themselves have not been approved yet. That's the registration process. Those are the S1s. We're expecting those to get approved within the next couple of weeks. Excuse me. That's why you don't see them on the market just yet. But we're pretty sure that that's going to happen. It's the same process that was followed for Bitcoin. So I just want to have some clarity around that so people aren't, just freaking out. Because everybody's freaking out right now because the market took a huge just dive yesterday and last night. And the reason why? Well, the stock market went down. There is a little bit of a correlation there. So we are going to have to pay attention to certain things. Now, what else happened? XRP, actually, let's go back to the Ethereum ETF thing. So I don't know if any of you have been paying attention, but I dropped an article yesterday or the day before yesterday saying that Grayscale has other ETFs. Now, two of those ETFs are for Near Protocol and Stacks. Stacks brings programmability to Bitcoin. So that's huge. It's also difficult to get, just saying. What else happens? What else happens is Near Protocol is like a baby Solana. Except I haven't heard about any problems like on Solana with regard to network reliability issues. So Near Protocol is big. Yes, I do have a bag of Near Protocol. I do not have, unfortunately, a bag of Stacks. And I would like to have a bag of Stacks. It's so painful. Now, if you host a website with us, we can get paid in Stacks. Like we have wallets, but acquiring Stacks is a pain in the tail. And remember what I told you. It's not just the acquisition that you have to worry about, but it's also the trading thereof. Okay? So pay attention to what you're doing out there. Now, on the other good news, Coinbase is now selling XRP or now working with XRP trading within New York State. That's huge because it hasn't been in New York State for some time. And that was a major problem. So having it back in New York is a great thing. Of course, you know that they lost that whole class action lawsuit over the Doge game stakes thing, right? So that's going to impede some growth for Coinbase as well. Now, there was a bill, HJ Res 109, which seeks to repeal the SEC's SAB 121 impacting crypto custodial services. Biden has until June 3rd to actually sign that bill. He didn't get it until late one night, so that pushes it back a little bit. So we'll see if he signs that bill. That's the one that I think he's like, nah, I'm not going to sign that. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. We should be paying attention to FIT 21. That's the bill that I'm really paying attention to because apparently there's some verbiage in there that says that digital assets would be deemed as commodities and managed via the CFTC. That's a huge step. That's a huge step. So we're gonna have to watch that for a time to come. Until that comes to be or doesn't come to be, we're gonna have to pay attention to that because that would be major league. Now, there are a bunch of people that are saying the next ETF request is going to be around Solana. Grayscale, they have a bunch of ETFs. Like I said, the ones that I dropped the article about just the other day were Stacks and Near. So that says that they're opening up the idea of having more. Why? Because people would like to trade in a regulated space. So owning crypto, but in a more regulated space, and ETFs give them that, as well as they don't have to do the work. So the question becomes, how much Near Protocol has been snatched up by Grayscale to support? How much Stacks has been snatched up by Grayscale to support? And I believe BlackRock, with regard to the Bitcoin spot ETFs, is only 4,561 Bitcoin away from surpassing Grayscale. And do I expect that to happen? Yeah, I do expect that to happen. Oh, okay, that's nice. So sorry about that. I have to pay attention to things because, I got kids. Something else that's really big for Coinbase, again, launching Avalanche staking. Now they haven't fully embraced Avalanche, but if they have Avalanche staking, it kind of says, well, are you going to start looking at some of the memes and some of the other things on Avalanche? That would be interesting. Apparently the APY is like 4.47%. Not bad. I mean, think about this. It's better than a bank. So if you're going to be holding something and you can stake, it's better than a bank. I'm just saying. So I look at these things and I'm like, well, if I'm going to be holding something, I might as well stake. And if I'm staking, just let it rock. 5% a year plus whatever up and down that are going to happen with that particular coin. I'm cool with that. And apparently staking with stacks gets you Bitcoin. So that's interesting. That's mad cool. Now, we all know about MicroStrategy, right? I told you a couple of weeks ago about Metaplanet. Metaplanet is the Japanese version. As soon as when they took on the Bitcoin purchasing strategy to mimic MicroStrategy, their stock jetted up 158%. 158%. Amazing. When I tell you the level of adoption, the level of hat tip that companies get for being involved in Bitcoin right now is huge. Huge. I'm expecting with every quarter that passes, we're going to receive more and more good news about, digital asset purchases. I think they're also going to become a little bit more, let's say, elegant in what they purchase and how they purchase. That's going to be interesting to me. Wells Fargo is facing problems. They're facing a class action lawsuit. And I'm bringing this up because it's banking. And you know how they're always wagging the finger at crypto. I just want to wag the finger at banking a little bit. Wells Fargo, and I'm going to read you my note. Wells Fargo faces a class action lawsuit for allegedly seizing funds from a customer's account without authorization. Say what now? What was that? Yeah. So that's a major flipping problem. That's a major flipping problem for a major bank. And think about that. You just went out and decided, we're just going to take your money. We're just going to take your money. And you wonder why people are freaking out over CBDCs when you can't even control what a bank is doing. So we've already known that Wells Fargo is in trouble. I told you just a few days ago actually on the 13th, I told you how bad it was for TD Bank. Their whole KYC, AML, or know your customer, anti-money laundering practices, or lack thereof, apparently. I mean, drug dealers, laundering $2.8 million in a single day. Yeah, I would say there's something wrong with your bank. And you have to think about that. That is from the top down. The whole bank. It had to happen at the branch. It had to happen in the back office when they're reviewing things. So from the top down, we got problems. Amazeballs. I can almost not even fathom that. That's how ridiculous that is. So yes, I'm bringing that up because here's a bank. We're supposed to be able to trust banks, and look what they're doing. Just out of the blue, we're just going to snatch your money. And it's not one person. They're talking about a class action lawsuit. That's a lot of people. I wonder what the penalty is going to be. Because a class action lawsuit says, we want money for something that you did. And if it's proven that it happened once, then I want to know what their penalty is going to be, what their fine is going to be, because the government should be going after them right now. Or maybe they already have and they already had the fee and everything else. But that class action is happening. That class action is happening. That's going to be a painful thing. Now, I want you to stop and think about this. There are a lot of banks out there that aren't doing so hot. Mind you, the trouble that TD has, right? They're not the only one. They're not the only bank. We were on Canadian Broadcasting Channel, and that report named other banks that were involved. They weren't able to confirm that they're being investigated, but they named other banks that were involved. That is a problem. So there could be additional shoes that are going to drop, and that's going to have a huge hit on the banking system. Huge hit. And we're talking major banks. Major banks. Not tiny little regional banks, major. Regional banks have their own problems. But now we're talking about big banks having this kind of a problem. That's going to be an issue and a half. An issue and a half that everybody's going to have to deal with. You know what I forgot to mention? Van Eck. As soon as the approvals came in, Van Eck launched an ad campaign about their Ethereum spot ETF. And I'm not surprised. I think they knew that all of them were going to be approved at the same time, even though theirs should have come first. And they said, "Fine, then we're going to get out here. We're going to launch an ad, and we're going to get out in front of everybody else, and we'll get that talk, that positive talk, for our ad because nobody else has an ad yet." And they did it. Smart move. Smart move. Hat tip to that marketing team. And like I said, there are analysts out there. Brian Kelly from CNBC, somebody from Bloomberg, James Seyfert is thinking, the next suggested spot ETF is probably Solana. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, there are so many other coins that I would choose before I would choose Solana. Not to say that I wouldn't choose Solana. There are just other coins that I would put in front of Solana. Just saying. What else is there? The approval. Again, I just want to say that approval kind of says that Ethereum is a commodity. And it hasn't hit a lot of people yet. But that approval kind of puts a stake in the ground that Ethereum is a commodity. Now, remember, the previous chairman, I think his name is Jay Clayton, had said Ethereum was a commodity, period. And then Gary Gensler's like, no, it's security now. And I told you about his off-ramp. His off-ramp was, well, if you're staking, that's why everybody took out staking. That's why they all changed their 19B4s to remove staking. Because that's Gary's off-ramp. Because he can say, well, I didn't mean Ethereum itself. I meant staking. And again, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, but I don't understand how staking would be that either. Because staking is just like putting your money in a bank. If I stake, I'm expecting to get, a return on allowing you to use my commodity. Sort of like giving a loan, which is what you give to banks, which is why they pay you interest. Yeah, it's crap interest, but they still pay you interest. That's what I mean. So I need somebody to give me a lesson, because I am stupid. I need somebody to give me a lesson and have me understand why staking Ethereum is, a security. I have an issue with that. I thought I nailed it yesterday, trying to see how it could be a security, and today I'm wishy-washy on it. Now, something else that Jay Clayton said today on CNBC is that, just so you can understand where I'm coming from, 401k is not enough. 401ks are not enough. What? Literally, I want to say like 15 minutes ago, 5 minutes before I started recording this, Jay Clayton was on CNBC and saying, well, as of right now, yeah, 401ks are not necessarily, there. And he said, yeah, we should have fixed this when I was still at the SEC. You know how long ago that was? That was a minute. He was like, I consider that unfinished business, because now people are saying my 401k is not enough to get me through retirement. People are living longer. Things are more expensive. They should have led with that. Things are more freaking expensive. You're going to have a bunch of people that are going to retire, and they're all going to turn into farmers because they can't afford the food at the damn store. So they're going to have to grow their own. I think that's really what's going to happen. So one of our members told me, shared with us the other day that you could buy a plot of land in New Mexico, an acre, for $1,000. Guess who's going to be looking in New Mexico for land for $1,000? Like what? Now, it's undeveloped land. You've got to figure out your electricity. You got to figure out your water situation, all that. But you can pick up an acre of land in New Mexico for $1,000 because your 401k is not enough. Like, what? Like, that's not even funny. Like, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Do the calculations on your 401ks. The returns on 401ks have not been as high as what people thought. You're limited in terms of what you could purchase. This is all as of Jay Clayton. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going, wow. So it was drummed into our heads, 401k, 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 401k. So what were these companies doing? Everybody's concentrating on crypto, but here's something that's been around for decades and nobody's saying anything about it, other than we're not getting the returns that we thought we would get for a 401k. You're limited in what your investments could be via a 401k as well. Oh, we should have fixed it, but you didn't. And clearly it's not being fixed by the current administration in the SEC. So how does that work? So you're literally telling workers, oh, you're putting money in your 401k? Good, you better do something else too. It's literally what's being said to us right now. Your 401k is not nearly enough. Wow. I told you the other day that I wonder about the kind of lives that our kids are going to have. And I said something really, really harsh. And I didn't say it to be mean, but I said something really, really harsh. If you do not own property right now, if you do not own real estate right now, already, you might not be able to afford it going forward. Dead straight up, dead serious. Your kids, I hope they're living at home, and I hope they're banking every single penny they make. I hope they're squirreling away every single penny they make. Do the math. Do the math on how much salaries have gone up over the last few decades, and do the math on how much housing has gone up over the last few decades. They don't go like this. One is going like this and the other one's going like this. The distance between the two is huge. Huge. Then on top of that, layer on top of that, the idea that you have, real estate investment trusts and other companies buying up starter homes. They're not for sale. They're for rent. So the moat is getting bigger and bigger, right? To keep people away from what other people already own. That's a major problem. So teach your kids now. Teach them how to invest. Get them in classes. Teach them how to squirrel away their money. Buying stuff now, it's not the way to go. Stuff is not going to put food on your table when you're in your 60s, in your 70s, in your 80s. Stuff is not going to put food on the table. Assets will put food on the table. That's what will put food on the table. So I'm seriously sitting around and I'm going, okay, so what assets are we going to put our hands on? Because like you thought I was joking when I said you're going to have a whole bunch of people that are retiring and everybody's going to have a garden. Everybody's going to have chickens because you get the poultry, you get the eggs. You get the fruits and vegetables from the ground. I'm telling you that it sounds like a joke. It's not. This is why I do all this research, because I need to know how to invest my money, because I'm not living for my first name. I'm Eddie. I'm not living for Eddie. I'm living for Eddie's kids, kids, and so on. I'm living for my last name. So I hope you guys are paying attention out there, because it's no joke. It is no. Anyway, know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. And you guys didn't remind me to put my watermark up? Are you kidding me? Ugh, that's horrible. It's horrible that you made me forget. I'm very upset. I'm hurt by this. Just give me a minute and I'll flip over. All right. And that's the wrong one. There you go. Now you can see me. So the fear and greed index went from 76 down to 74. I'm thinking that it's probably going to go back up a little bit. Remember, the stock market did not have a good day, and Friday is usually a sell day, so we'll see how it goes today. DeFi Llama, we were at 131 yesterday. We're at 127 billion in total value locked right now. We have Bitcoin trading below the green band, but still below my green line, but still above my blue band. So we're still in a pretty tight trading zone, if you think about it. We're still in a tight trading zone. So if you look at 57,686 to 69,355, we've been in that space for a while. We've been playing that space for a while. So if you've been trading, you've been seeing ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. That's what I'm saying. So we're moving weirdly right now, straight up, just weirdly. If you're looking at the big board, nothing is actually looking really great. Look at this. SHIB down big. H-bar down big, Filecoin down big, WIF, Arbitrum. The only one that's doing amazingly well is Chainlink. Connective tissue, I told you. Connective tissue. That is the one. Injective down. I mean, you can see who's down big time. Solana's down big. Big. 165. Still above where it fell to before because of the network issue, but down a lot. It was like 181, just what, a week ago, something like that, week and a half ago. Immutable X down, Optimism down, Arbitrum down. That's Arweave, my bad. Arweave is down big time. So I'm just sitting back and I'm looking at all this, and you know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking. Oh my good Lord. It's buying season. That's what this says to me. It's buying season. I'm out here looking for deals. I got up this morning and I already snatched up some Bitcoin because it was down. Already snatched up some Bitcoin because it was down. You know what else I snatched up? I snatched up some Bonk. Snatched up some Bonk. That's right. Bonk flipped Floki, and I love Floki. I just love the name because my son said Floki, Dad, Floki. Okay, cool. It's cool, son. I'll do it. Floki's at 54. Bonk bunny hopped them and went to 52. What? Yeah. So I have some Bonk, I have some Floki, I got some Jupiter up in there. Obviously, I have some Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So we've got a nice little bag that we can sit back and kind of go, okay, cool. Again, I have separate wallets. Some wallets are for holding, for savings. Some wallets are for trading. If it's a meme, you know it's for trading. In my case. Anyway, if you want to take a look at the numbers before we go, take a look at the numbers across the board. Let's go back over here real quick. Bear with me. Bam, there you go. So when you're looking at this, you can see everybody's taking a hit. Everybody took big hits last night. Past 24 hours, these projects took big hits. H-bar Hedera is still up for me, but you know, it took a hit. Now, am I expecting things to go up over the next couple of weeks? Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm expecting things to go up. Especially as you start to hear more and more issues with banks, you're going to start to see things go up. I'm surprised that the story about TD Bank didn't get more airplay. Actually, I'm not surprised. You want to know why? Because it's a bank issue, and that's not a small bank. It's not a small bank. Canadian based, but they got caught here in the United States doing that crap. So yeah, these are big deals. I'm expecting more money to hit the market. I'm expecting all of those companies whose 19B4s were approved. I'm expecting all of those companies to start seeding their fund, right, with Ethereum. And then at the end of the quarter, when, in the next couple of weeks, you'll hear about everybody getting approved. And then at the end of the quarter, beginning of next quarter, when they report on this quarter, that's when they're going to say, oh, look at how much we bought. You'll get the daily buys, all that, and you'll start to see markets start to pop. So right now, I'm going to go back to the big board. When I go back over here, I'm going, yes, these are sales. When I see red like this, it's a sale. That's all I see right now. All this stuff. I'm going on a shopping spree. It's like I said, I'm not living for my first name. I'm living for my last name. I want my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids. I want my descendants to all do well. And I can only do that if I keep pushing higher. That's all I can do. So if you guys got some tips, send them in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the notification button so you get notified of all the videos that I drop when I drop them. Don't forget to go visit growmybag.tv. We're dropping like 20 articles a day on crypto and stocks and other investment ideas. We've got classes coming from the SBDC. We've got a lot going on, people. Anyway, hope to see you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.